Tulsi Gabbard is trying to still grapple with her loss in the Democratic presidential primary. It was close, right?
What you mean the presidential primary where she ran as a spoiler and kneecapped Bernie Sanders, the one true like Medicare for all candidate to name one policy?
Well, she doesn't agree with Medicare for all.
Well, I know she thinks it's not patriotic or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that one where she was a spoiler candidate that basically rebounded to the benefit of Joe Biden, who she also defended from Kamala Harris. So
yes,
which is the moment I'm pretty sure we're talking about, right?
Isn't that well, I mean, she's talking about the debate. One of the debates, she decided I'm going to go after Kamala Harris specifically, and that's all fun and games in the sense that
But it was after Kamala did that thing about Biden, right?
Yeah, I forget the sequencing. Regardless, it was still a bizarre move of hers to, like, every time she would answer a question, it was just about Kamala Harris. So something in her misguided PR team told her that would be the right way to go.
Well, I think she thought the things that a lot of like Democrat elites did, which is that Kamala was a strong contender somehow, and which, I mean, I guess they sort of spoke into existence. But like, yeah, I remember at that point, it's just like, why aren't you attacking Joe Biden?
Yeah.
And because she's a tool for the establishment, Tulsi Gabbard.
But it wasn't her, terrible, incomprehensible policy platform that had her lose the Democratic primary. It wasn't her muddled messaging that she presented herself in some circles as a progressive and in others as not so much. We now know where her true loyalties lie. It wasn't the fact that she had negative charisma and no real campaign apparatus, and that Jimmy Dore was a de facto surrogate for her, which shows everything you need to know about Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah. It wasn't that. It was that big tech suppressed her.
The same old.
Yeah, the board will have to eat it. You heard it from Dana Perino, filthy lady. Tulsi, isn't he doing what anybody should do when they're buying something? Check under the hood.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that all the attention is being focused on this because it's Elon Musk, and also because of why he's doing this, right? As a quote unquote free speech absolutist, I think people recognize how much it's needed, how dangerous it is that we have people in our government working with big tech and many in the mainstream media to essentially advance like a specific narrative. It's a de facto propaganda department, and if you are not in line, then you will be censored. And I saw this in my presidential campaign. Google suspended our ads account on the first debate. I was the most searched candidate. They suspended the account right when people were looking for me most. Just last month, Instagram shadow banned me. If you searched for Tulsi Gabbard, you wouldn't find my name anywhere. There's so many different examples of this, and the real danger is it is a threat to our marketplace of ideas and our democracy. And so I hope he looks under the hood. I hope he continues. Twitter will be one example, but obviously it's a larger issue, and hopefully others will kind of take heed.
Yeah, Judge, what's funny and a problem for
the biggest value that she provides for Fox News is that when she says these things, I don't think it was on this Chiron, but every time that she comes on Fox is that she puts there's a D next to her name, former presidential candidate. This is like as lucrative as it gets, or both for, I mean, she's not doing it very well because frankly, she's not that good at the roles that she plays.
There's
she
only
doesn't
so
have the charisma to back it. Yeah, but the only thing that really is core to her beliefs is she's very anti-gay from her history, and she is very anti-Muslim. Those are the only things that I think that she truly believes in.
Tulsi Gabbard is a surfing bigot.
Yeah, and when you mentioned earlier that she didn't go after, and don't forget the yoga, that she didn't go after Biden. She was supposed to be the anti-war candidate, and she didn't go after the guy on the stage that voted for the Iraq War. Really interesting that she didn't make that case, because she wasn't really interested in winning. Now she's pretending retroactively that she was, shadow banned. That's the only reason that she didn't make more headway. The reality is she was setting herself up. She knew that there was very little future for her within the Democratic Party because the Bernie wing was mistrustful of her. the establishment couldn't stand her, and she didn't have any principles except for the ones that I just described to you.
Yeah, and like I think a lot of these shadow banning conversations, I don't know what happened with the Google ad thing. I don't really give a fuck. But as far as like the shadow banning thing, I think there's a lot of people who don't realize like if you build an audience, like say as a anti-imperialist progressive, and then basically turn into the Fox News culture war beat type of person, the audience that you build is going to be engaging with your posts an awful lot less. And that is going to create a really bad feedback loop that is going to, and this should be transparent. I think if we want to do something like forced transparency on this stuff, people can see what's happening. But that's what's happening, I think, with a lot of these folks who are like, why isn't my stuff going anymore? It's probably because you pissed off a lot of the people that you build an audience with coming up.
Suddenly, nobody wants to watch my...
Nobody wants to watch my talk about how...
Me Too crunches and
you need to be
alming.
18 before you hear about gay people.
Always a pleasure,
Stupid
Sean.
bigot,
Always
honestly.
a pleasure, Sean.
One of the more despicable, like, minor characters of politics in the last 10 years. Honestly, this bigot freak.
She better step up her game, because there are others. I mean, even Tim Pool's got more success than her in this area.
The board will have.
It's okay.
I'm done with you, Greg.
She's why I left the left is lucrative for these influencers, but it also pays dividends for the Republican project. It normalizes their extremism.
Well, it's a socialism of fools. It's like it's not capitalists, it's moderators that are the real oppressors of society.
When you have her, she is the flag they can plant. This is where the Democratic Party could be, but they've gone so far. And so our ideas are actually not that evil and fascist and scary.